Hi everyone, so our topic for today is the respiratory system, and we'll be looking at the human respiratory system first. So this is a human respiratory system, respiratory tract. So it starts with nostril, nasal cavity, and then down to pharynx, epiglottis, down to larynx, and then enters the trachea. Then we have the bronchus, bronchiole, and then it goes to the lung. So this is the lungs, and then we have the ribs. Ribs are the bony part, and we have intercostal muscles, and then here we have the diaphragm. So as we go deeper, from the trachea we have bronchus, and then we get the bronchioles, and from the bronchioles we have the alveoli. So alveoli are round air sacs, and they are usually filled and covered with blood capillaries. Breathing. So we humans, we breathe. So what happens during breathing is that we take in oxygen during inhalation, and we give out carbon dioxide during exhalation. So what are the breathing mechanisms? As I mentioned before, it is an inhalation and exhalation. So we'll be seeing the pathway of air during inhalation and exhalation. So the pathway of air, it starts from the nostril, and then it goes to the nasal cavity, pharynx, larynx, trachea, and then to the bronchi, and then to the bronchioles, and then to the alveoli. So if we can see here, it comes from the nostril, it enters through the nostril, and then it passes the nasal cavity and enters the pharynx and goes to the larynx, and then it enters the trachea, and then bronchus, and then here you can see it enters the bronchiole, and then it goes to the alveoli. So this is for inhalation. As for exhalation, it's just the opposite. From the alveoli, it goes back to the bronchiole, bronchus, trachea, larynx, pharynx, nasal cavity, and the nostril. So you can see here we have the pathway of air from nostrils, nasal cavity, and then to the pharynx, to the larynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, and alveoli for the inhalation pathway, and totally opposite from alveoli to bronchus, from bronchioles to the bronchi, from the bronchi back to the trachea, from the trachea to the larynx, from the larynx to pharynx, pharynx to nasal cavity, and out through the nostril. So these are for the exhalation pathway. So next, we want to see what happens during the process of inhalation and exhalation. So we have a few components. So we have a total of 5 components, which number 1, we have the intercostal muscle. Number 2, we have the rib cage. Number 3, diaphragm. Then number 4, thoracic cavity. And number 5, we have the air pressure in thoracic cavity. Okay, so during inhalation, the intercostal muscles contracts and allows the rib cage to move up and out. So you can see in this, the diaphragm, the intercostal muscle contracts and the rib cage will move up and out. Okay, so next is the diaphragm. The diaphragm, it will contract and it will move down and flatten. So here the diaphragm is a bit curved, right? So during inhalation it will become flat, flat like that. You relax it, it contracts and it will become flat. About the thoracic cavity, so for thoracic cavity, the cavity will become bigger. It becomes big. The cavity, it will be as the rib cage moves out, right? So the cavity will become big, and so that it can allow more air entry. So the air pressure in the thoracic cavity will decrease. It will decrease. Okay, so as for exhalation, the intercostal muscle relaxes, so it allows the rib cage to move down and inward, and the diaphragm also relaxes and it will move up. The thoracic cavity will become smaller because you want to exhale all the air as much as possible, so the air pressure in the thoracic cavity will increase. So as we see here, during exhalation the intercostal muscles relaxes, so it allows the rib cage to move down and inward, so it makes the thoracic cavity smaller, and then the diaphragm will relax and move up. It will curve up as in this picture. So that the air pressure in the thoracic cavity will increase, so that it exhale all the air out. Okay, so the percentage of oxygen and carbon dioxide in inhaled air is we have oxygen of 21% and carbon dioxide of 0.04%. In exhaled air, we have oxygen of 16% and carbon dioxide of 4%. So from this percentage of oxygen and carbon dioxide, we can know that in oxygen is more in inhaled air compared to the exhaled air, and we have more percentage of carbon dioxide in exhaled air compared to inhaled air.
Hi all, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, any doubts, you can post it in the comment box and we will follow up. You can also post it in our FB page. Please share this to all your friends that you know. Like and subscribe upon your wish. Continue to support us always, and thank you for your support.